In this next lesson, you want to get your clips here in this timeline. You can click on the icon button that says New Project or go over here to File, New, Project. In the dialog box, give it a project name. I'll call it Calico Ghost Town. Now that I got a project name, I want to make sure that travel is selected in Event. Now let's select Use Custom Settings. In video format, I normally want this to be 1080p, but for this tutorial, I'll keep it at 720p. This format is also good enough for social media since most people are just watching videos on their phones. My frame rate will be 23.98 frames per second. This is standard for film. Now let's click OK to create a new project. Your project is showing here in the browser with the rest of your clips. You can adjust the clip appearance that is most convenient. Let's go over here and let's change the duration of the film strip. If I have this set to 2 seconds, each thumbnail will be 2 seconds of film. The clip is now a little more spread out here in the browser. Since a lot of my shots are short, I personally like to see all the thumbnails condensed, so I'll move the slider all the way to the left so each video clip is one thumbnail. You can adjust the size of each clip over here. How you like to organize your clips, it's all based on personal preferences, but you can see there's several options over here. On Group By, I have Content Created, and Sort By is Content Created. I personally like to have continuous playback selected, but if you uncheck it, I'll show you what happens. Let's select a clip, I'll hit play. And it will stop at the end of the clip. Now let's check continuous playback. Let's do the same thing. I'll hit play. Now you'll see it's going to continue to the next clip. And it will continue to play to the next clip. I'll go ahead and pause this for now. We also have waveforms, but we don't need to see the waveforms because we're not using any of the audio in any of these clips. If there's an icon and you're not sure what it's there for, you can hover your mouse over the icon, a tooltip will show up. It'll display the name of the icon. Sometimes it'll even show the keyboard shortcut for this. Over here you can switch from film strip to list mode, which I personally do not like, but you can see the file names, you can see the duration, and you'll see other data about the clip. I prefer to stay with film strip because that's easier for me. Now that we're going back to film strip, I want to show you what happens when I roll my mouse over each clip. It's something called skimming. You can turn that off and on depending on your preferences, but we'll go to this button right over here. Once again, I want to show you the tooltip when I hover my mouse over the button. I'll go ahead and turn off the video skimming, and you can see when I roll over my mouse over each clip, nothing happens. I'll turn it back on. Right next to it, you'll see audio skimming. So if you want to hear sound, you can click this and listen to the sound as you're skimming through the audio. But it's not really needed over here since we're not going to use the audio for any of these clips. I'll go ahead and turn that off and we'll just stick to video skimming for now. I showed you how you can play every clip by hitting the play button, but the most common keyboard shortcut that I normally use is the space bar. So feel free to play through each clip.
There, Mila. Am I getting a good shot or what?
This looks like a good clip to add to my timeline, so I'm going to select it. Then I'm going to click and drag into my timeline. You notice I mentioned to select it, then you click and drag to your timeline. Let me show you what happens when you select and you don't let go of the mouse button. You're only going to select a range, and within that range, you can drag that into your timeline. But if that was an accident and you didn't want to select just that range, hit Option X to clear out your selection. Now let's grab this clip right over here. I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to let go of the mouse button, then I'm going to click and drag that into my timeline. Now I just showed you how to create a new project, browse through your clips, and you were able to insert these clips into the timeline. Let's move on to the next step.